Welcome back to Automation, Selenium plus Java, Part 2. In the previous video, we had a couple of gaps, so let's cover those now. First off, we'll start with our Chrome driver options. So there are many options you can set for your Chrome web driver. One of them is headless mode. This is where it doesn't actually launch an instance of the Chrome browser. It's really good for testing. Let's say you had 1,000 tests and you don't need to watch each one run. You just need to make sure that it executed correctly. You can set the window size. You can set it to incognito mode in Chrome. You can disable web security. You could disable the GPU, which again might be very helpful for performance when you're running 1,000 tests. And there's a lot more options that you can look up. So here's how you would do it. Chrome options equals new Chrome options, options.add arguments, and you can set headless, the window size, incognito, and more. And then you pass that into your Chrome web driver. Next up, let's have a more in-depth conversation about selectors or locators. This is something you're going to spend a lot of time on as an automation engineer. So you can find by ID. So if an HTML tag like an input has an ID, you can find it with find element by ID. You can also use XPath. So you can find a button that has the class of button-primary. Or you can find a selector locator by class, by.className. Locators, in my opinion, are just one of those things that you need to learn just by doing it. So you have an element that you want to target, and then you need to figure out how do I actually target it. I don't think it makes a ton of sense to just memorize all of the different ways you can do right out the gate. One way to debug this to see did you select the correct element, you can print the web element.getText, and I've done that about 1,000 times to try to figure out which element I'm actually selecting. And ChatGPT is a great resource. You can go in the DOM, you can copy the HTML tag with all of its attributes, paste it into ChatGPT, say give me a selector, and 9 times out of 10 it gives me the correct answer. And lastly, let's talk about wait. So waiting is needed for when the page loads or the DOM changes. You can have an implicit wait, which is just a hard-coded value of say 5 seconds. That's what we did in the previous video, an implicit wait. You can also do an explicit wait, which is where you wait for a condition to be met. For example, the visibility of an element. Let's go ahead and update our code from an implicit wait to an explicit wait. First off, I'm going to rename the method wait until visible. WebDriver wait is equal to new WebDriver wait, where we pass in the WebDriver and also give it a max duration. So if we can't find the visibility of that element within this duration, then it will fail. We're then going to call wait.until expected conditions.visibility of element located, and we pass in the selector. And now that we have a more dynamic wait, I'm going to delete our try catch. And that's all there is to it. There are, of course, other ways you can implement this, but this is a really good start. Okay, that's all I have for this video, and the funny thing is, even after just 2 very short videos, you should have enough information to actually build something pretty decent. But I will continue this series to go more in depth, especially around the automated testing side. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.